Do you know who Daniel Muir is? Daniel Muir played for the NFL from 2007 to 2013, and he lives in Logansport, Indiana. He's now a pastor in the Straightway, Indiana Goshen Church. He lives on the religious property in Cass County. His 14-year-old son, Bryson, was missing. He had been last seen leaving his grandma's house in Cleveland, Ohio. Apparently, his grandma was called to pick him up, which she did, and took him to her home in Ohio. When Grandma picked Bryson up, he had a black eye, a fat lip, and a swollen face, immediately noticeable. And when his grandma asked him what happened, Bryson told her that his dad did it, but that he deserved it and it's okay. After a short time with his grandma, Bryson's dad came and picked him up. She said there were 3 people in the car: his dad, his mom, and somebody else she didn't know who it was. His grandma had called the police and initiated an abuse report. In a short time, the police did locate the car that they were driving, and the police pulled the car over. In the car, there was only his mom and dad. Bryson wasn't there, and the other person wasn't there. When the police separated and questioned parents, they gave conflicting stories. According to the police, the dad, Daniel, admitted he had taken his son somewhere else because the Department of Child Services was on the lookout for him and he wanted to protect his son. I never actually heard child abuse termed like that before, but I guess. He wouldn't reveal Bryson's location, and he was heard on the police phone telling someone that he whooped that ass like a grown man. And on Friday, June 28th, the parents, Daniel and Kristen, were supposed to meet with the Indiana State Police. And do you think that happened? No, they failed to show up. So the police obtained a search warrant for the religious compound. That served also as the Muir home. The property was run by the group Cult Servants Leader Foundation. To find the 14-year-old, 3 SWAT teams, sniffer dogs or tracking dogs, and a bomb disposal unit were deployed. The teenager was found in a wooded area, and it was reported that he was heard saying, "My father did not punch me in the eye." And apparently the police were told that an unknown individual is responsible for punching Bryson, and the parents decided to remove Bryson a state away to his grandma's house, then claimed they brought him back to Indiana because his grandma began to make decisions that the mom, Kristen, disagreed with, like calling the police. Then they say they hid him out to protect him. They weren't trying to hide him out until his injuries started to heal, or were healed. Thank God Grandma didn't go along with their program. Both parents have been arrested. I just can't help but wonder what would have happened to that child, hidden in the woods, if the reported cult members were in charge of the search, if they were in control of the narrative. I'm glad they called out all those searchers, including the dogs, as they should have. And I'm glad none of them were involved in that religious cult. I'm supposing that none of the searchers had Facebook posts proclaiming to be a proud member or tattoos that evidence their allegiance to the cult. I'm extremely glad they found this child alive. I just can't help but wonder what would have happened if they'd have found Liberty and Abigail sooner, if they'd called SWAT, if they'd had the dog search, if no one had been involved with the Odinist as evidenced by the Facebook posts and tattoos. Even if all that was a ruse, it was involved. I'm very happy Bryson was saved. Now I hope he gets all the intensive therapy that he's going to need. I hope they don't call everything off prematurely like they have before.